Have you ever heard of somebody say to you that you have the same number of hours in the day as, say, the President of the United States or Taylor Swift? We all of us have 24 hours in the day. And for whatever reason, every time I hear somebody make reference to that idea, and I've heard it periodically throughout my life, I feel confronted by it and I have to ask myself, am I using my time well? Starting in January of 2024, I implemented the 12-week year, and I have a video on that which I will link above for you guys. As I completed the 12-week year for all of 2024 and I did an annual evaluation, it reminded me that we are given some resources in our lives, but two of them are really important for us to manage well. That is time and money. You know, time I think is even more valuable than money. And the reason for that is because once it is spent, once it is used, once it's no longer available, it is no longer available. There's no earning back more time. You have the time you have today, and you have hopefully, God willing, you have the time that is in the future days to come. But you can never go back and re-spend what you already used up. When it comes to money, you can waste money, you can spend money, or you can invest money. And the truth is, I believe that's true for our time as well. We can waste time, we can spend time, or we can invest time. So let's kind of explore each of these a little bit. And we'll tie it back to kind of how I think about money as well. Whenever I am wasting my money, I'm really kind of just, part of my language, but the way that I was taught, the way that I would say it when I was young was I was pissing it away, right? I don't know what happened with it. It was mindless spending. I wasn't giving it really any thought. I was wasting it. It was buying knick-knacky things, garbage things, eating out when I wasn't even hungry. It was losing it sometimes, just misplacing it, not knowing where it went. This happens to me all the time with my time. I will honestly find myself wandering around the house thinking, what should I do? A lot of times I end up in the kitchen and do some mindless snacking to boot. That's a whole nother problem. I will scroll. I will be like, hey, I'm going to check the weather. And before I know it, I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling for 40 minutes. And I wish that was an exaggeration, but it's not. I could literally scroll for 40 minutes and all of a sudden realize it's been 40 minutes and I've wasted a lot of my precious time before my next meeting starts, right? And so there is this idea of wasting your time. And for me, that is qualified as anything that is a mindless activity where you're kind of doing it on autopilot and you don't get any real benefit out of it other than distraction. So think of it as anytime that you're distracting yourself and you're not actively using your time to create something or do something worthwhile, you are wasting it. Then we fall into the category of spending your time. To me, this looks like when I am doing activities that need to get done but qualify as busy work. So a lot of times I will spend my time by, let's say, folding laundry or doing the dishes or cooking dinner, right? These are things that have to be done and therefore I'm doing them, but they're not a real creative output and they're not really furthering my goals, right? In my business, it looks like checking my email when I know there is very little that needs to be checked or when I have more pressing things that I should be working on. It could be texting people. It could be working on a course that I purchased and training myself, even though, again, that time was allotted for something else. That time was meant to be put to a better use because of the goals or the tactics that I'm trying to accomplish in that week. But I don't feel like working on what I scheduled for myself. And therefore, I am hopping on this training because that feels good, because I like learning and that makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something, even though it's not the thing that I had intended to accomplish. And then the last category is when you're investing your time. Investing your time is when you are actively making progress toward the future that you're wanting to create. You are doing the things that you decided were the worthwhile activities that you wanted to execute on when you created your week at the start of the week. And let me know, you guys, if you want to see what my process is for scheduling my week. I mean, ultimately what I end up doing is I have a process at the beginning of the month where I revisit my 12-week goals. I look at everything I want to accomplish in that month. And then each week I will look at the time I have available and I will look at the list of tactics that I want to work on toward those goals. And then I will schedule out time for each of those tactics. A lot of times when I slip from investing, doing those things that I had committed myself or I had suggested to myself that this was the best time to work on, and I slip into spending or wasting my time, the reason that happens is because I will come up to the scheduled activity and my brain will just get hyperactive. It will say, there's so many other things you could do. You could do this, you could do that. This doesn't sound like fun. I don't want to do this. You don't have the right time. You don't have the right information. This isn't the right time. You should completely look at Facebook right now. No, check the weather. No, go check that email from your son's teacher. Go do this, go do that. Your brain will throw all sorts of things at you to keep you from doing the thing that you scheduled yourself to do. I don't know why it's like this. I honestly don't know why, but I have talked to enough people to know that this happens not just for me, it happens for so many people, and it might happen for you. The way that I get around that is that for everything that I have scheduled that I need to do, you got to break the task into something smaller. So let's say I scheduled time to work on my YouTube video. Well, it might be that what I need to do is I need to come up with titles, or I need to script, or I need to record, or I need to edit, or I need to come up with photos to add, or I need to create a thumbnail. Like, there's so much more to it than just make a video, right? And so sometimes you will come up to this task and your brain will offer you a great variety of other things to work on because you haven't made it very clear what is the thing that you need to work on next. So I like this concept from Getting Things Done of knowing what is the next action in the project that you're working on. And if that next action is too big or unclear, you got to break it down into a smaller next action. So maybe it's, create the project folders. I heard somebody say a long time ago when they were a writer that they would tell themselves, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to just write one sentence. My next action is to write one sentence. But then in the process of writing that one sentence, it just created a momentum that let them write the next sentence. And before they knew it, they had 3 paragraphs. And that might not feel like a lot, but sometimes that's all the more you really need to make progress on that goal, in which case you've invested your time. What I've realized about investing your time is it could look very different for different people. Me taking a course and learning how to do something new, oh my gosh, I love that so much. It's just something I really enjoy, but that is not really an investment of my time because that's something that I can slip into as a form of procrastination. Because I enjoy doing that so much, it's easier for me to say, go take a course or work on a spreadsheet or work on a plan versus actually executing the plan, talking to people, making the sales call, creating the YouTube content. Those things on this side are the investments that I'm making. Whereas some people, let's say you're a naturally extroverted person and talking to people all day long is your jam, and that becomes then your path for hiding from the thing that you really need to do, which might be create your cash flow forecast or get some education completed, right? Whatever it is that you're resisting, there's a saying that I've come back to like probably 100 times. And it is that the cave that you are afraid to enter holds the treasure that you seek. The thing that you're avoiding is what you need to work on. The obstacle is the way. And so when we talk about this idea again of wasting your time versus spending your time versus investing your time, I really want you to think about what is the thing that you're avoiding and what is the thing that will actually make you uncomfortable and cause you to grow. That is the thing that is the investment of your time. That is the hard that you're choosing. This saying, choose your hard, I heard it from Tracy Hensel, whose channel I really love. And I've heard other people talk about it since, like Cody Sanchez recently was talking about it. When we choose the thing that is hard for us, we are investing in our development. And so when I'm talking to my kids about this, for example, I will often say, do the thing that makes you uncomfortable. Do the thing that feels hard to you. Because when we do the thing that feels easy, we're really spending our time. And it might be a worthwhile thing. It might be a form of relaxation. Doing the thing that is hard, finding the way to develop yourself, grow yourself, push yourself, make yourself uncomfortable, that is what we really need to invest in. And that needs to be aligned with the future that you want to create. So if you haven't already read The 12-Week Year, I highly recommend it. It is listed in my recommended reading on my website, and I really encourage everybody to go check it out. It has been a major shifter for me in how I look at my life and my business. When I work on that, I do it across both spectrums. I no longer believe in work-life separation. It's baloney. It's all one. And using that book has really helped me understand, hey, what is the future that I want? What are the goals that I can do in the next 90 days to get there? And then how can I execute tactics toward that? But on the greater perspective when I'm evaluating those things. Where am I investing my time? Where am I spending time? And where am I wasting time? What do you guys think about this? Have you guys heard this concept before? I feel like maybe I heard it before, but then there's a part of me that's like, nope, I made this one up. I am not entirely sure, but I would love to hear your take on it. And also, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, give it a share, but absolutely subscribe. It would really help me grow this channel, and I would very much appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.